The punchline hit its mark perfectly. The room erupted in laughter. But Greg Gutfeld wasn't content to just crack a joke. He seized the moment to shine a spotlight on what he saw as blatant hypocrisy. For years, Sunny Hostin has been vocal about holding others accountable for their ancestral histories, often framing her arguments around systemic oppression and the weight of historical responsibility. However, when faced with revelations about her own family's troubling past, she seemed to brush it off with a casual shrug, dismissing it as just a fact of life. Gutfeld didn't let that slip unnoticed. He pointed out how moments like this expose the dangers of identity politics, especially when the narrative someone pushes doesn't align with their own reality. He argued that Sunny's moral high ground had just taken a nosedive and stressed the need for self-awareness and nuance when navigating complex topics like race and history.
You know, new episodes of The View when she tries to pull the race card.
Yes.
And then she's like, America is racist. And then they're like, yeah, they might be racist, but they're not like slave owner racist. like somebody that we...
That's so true.
Yeah.
One thing, and I would have even actually not give her any is she said, well, like, I guess that's just what they did back then.
Yeah.
She should have followed that up with saying something along the lines of, and I understand that that's a departure from the way I've talked about this before.
Funny, she's so wrapped up in identity and she had no idea who she was.
Well, now we understand why she always makes Whoopi get the coffee.
Exactly, because if she is shaming descendants of this, will she continue to do that when she is now one of them?
Gutfeld explained that reducing complex issues to identity-based talking points often leads activists like Sunny to overlook inconvenient details, including their own contradictions. The real irony, he pointed out, wasn't just that Sunny's ancestors were involved in a system she actively opposes.
Guess there's nothing worse than to find out you're a white woman.
She's so disappointed.
It's really disappointing.
Her mother was white.
Oh my God.
Shame.
Oh my God.
The horror. History, and finds out that this is fantastic. She is descended from slaveholders. She's descended from slaveholders, and she's been apparently getting a lot of mail about her call for reparations because it turns out she's going to be paying them and not actually receiving.
Rosie O'Donnell emphasized that people should be judged by their actions, not their ancestry, and cautioned against oversimplifying complex issues like race and history. Her perspective underscored how such revelations can challenge rigid narratives and lead to uncomfortable but necessary self-reflection. The reactions to Sunny's response highlighted a sharp divide. Some saw it as an opportunity for personal accountability, while others felt it was yet another example of identity politics backfiring. Regardless of where people stood, the tension surrounding her response was undeniable. What could have been a moment of growth for Sunny instead became a debate about her perceived hypocrisy and unwillingness to confront her own past. This story serves as a reminder that no one's history is without complexity. It raises a crucial question. If you demand accountability from others, shouldn't you hold yourself to the same standard? Whether Sunny chooses to face the issue head-on or ignore it entirely, how she handles this moment will shape her legacy.
Search out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing.
Just
there.
go for it. Yeah.
The View, with its massive platform, has the power to shape public opinion. But should they have the right to publicly question a public figure's patriotism without consequences? And when does a critique become a personal attack? Joy Behar's comments didn't just stir the pot. They pushed the conversation into a much larger debate about the role of the media in today's polarized climate. This controversy has become a mirror reflecting our society's struggles with tolerance, respect, and the fine line between debate and division. Social media is buzzing with memes, TikToks, viral tweets, and heated debates, but that she didn't take the opportunity to reflect on it. Instead, she downplayed its significance, refusing to acknowledge the glaring contradiction in her own stance. His commentary resonated deeply with many, offering a prime example of what happens when moral superiority clashes with uncomfortable truths. For Gutfeld, this wasn't just about Sunny. It was a larger lesson about how personal accountability often takes a back seat to performative outrage. The internet wasted no time reacting, with social media exploding in memes and sharp humor. One viral post joked, "Reparations! Let me write that check to myself real quick," while Twitter and TikTok users flocked to voice strong opinions. Some defended Sunny, arguing she shouldn't be blamed for her ancestors' actions, while others highlighted her glaring double standard.
In her defense, everyone has ancestors that did unspeakably horrible things. It's just that not everyone's ancestors have records tied to their DNA about it. Worried for Sunny Hostin's progeny in the future that do a DNA test and find out that they were related to a cast member of The View. And they're like, oh, it all makes so much sense now why I'm so stupid and fat.
This ignited a heated debate. Should public figures like Sunny be held to the same moral standards they demand from others? Critics argued that her response lacked the necessary reflection and growth that should come with such a high-profile platform. Meanwhile, Sunny's dismissive reaction to her family's past shifted the conversation from potential self-reflection to accusations of hypocrisy. Instead of addressing the complexities of ancestry and accountability, the focus turned to her failure to confront her own history, making it just another debate on who is truly morally accountable. Then came the awkward fallout on The View. The moment the news broke about her ancestors being slave owners, the lively atmosphere at the table vanished, leaving a tense silence. Even Whoopi Goldberg, known for her quick comebacks, seemed unsure how to handle such an ironic revelation. On Gutfeld's show, however, the atmosphere was completely different. His co-hosts didn't hold back, throwing in sharp jabs and playful barbs. One even quipped that Sunny might need to start shaming herself for her family's past. Their laughter served as a sharp critique, further exposing the cracks in Sunny's moral foundation. Even Rosie O'Donnell weighed in, offering a more thoughtful take on the situation. One particularly viral meme perfectly captured the contrast between Carrie Underwood's poised performance and Joy Behar's fiery remarks. The caption read, "Grace under fire versus unfiltered rage." It's clear there's a divide. Some see Carrie's actions as dignified, while others interpret them as a political statement. The supporters of Carrie have rallied behind her, celebrating her for staying strong and focused despite the intense backlash. They admire her refusal to let the drama derail her. On the other hand, critics of The View are calling for accountability, accusing the show of stoking division rather than fostering constructive dialogue. Many argue that media outlets like The View should hold themselves to higher standards and avoid fueling the flames of division and anger. What's the takeaway from all this? Carrie Underwood's decision to perform at Trump's inauguration has ignited a firestorm of controversy, but it's also highlighting something much deeper. It's about standing firm in your beliefs, even when it's unpopular. Whether you agree or disagree with Carrie's politics, one thing is undeniable. She's not backing down, and that takes courage. As for The View, this situation brings up important questions about the media's role in shaping public opinion. Sure, shows like The View have every right to express their views, but have they crossed the line from critique to personal attack? Have they gone too far in how they treat public figures? And what does that say about the state of the media today? Now, we want to hear from you. Was Carrie Underwood right to perform at Trump's inauguration, or do you side with The View's criticism? Should the media be held accountable for fueling divisiveness, or is it just part of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all the juiciest updates. This story is far from over, and we'll keep you in the loop every step of the way.
Uh-oh, Miss Sunny Hostin's husband, Mr. Hostin, is in hot water for medical fraud. And I think Sunny may have opened Pandora's box when she said this on The View.
I mean, I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
did she just accidentally tell on her husband? Because this just dropped last night. Her husband is being sued as a co-defendant in a very large RICO case against healthcare professionals who are overbilling and committing fraud. And her husband is one of those people.
Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Emmanuel Hostin is among nearly 200 defendants named in this case. He's accused of getting kickbacks by performing surgery and fraudulently billing a company that insures taxi companies, Uber, and Lyft drivers.
I mean, in his defense, maybe he was just trying to get his reparations.
Through it all, Carrie remained true to her graceful nature. Instead of firing back with a heated response or engaging in a public feud, she stayed silent, letting her actions speak louder than words. And ironically, her refusal to engage only added more fuel to the fire, keeping the controversy alive and the spotlight shining on her. Some praised Carrie Underwood for her poise under pressure, admiring her ability to rise above the chaos. However, others questioned whether her decision to perform at Trump. But here's the kicker. This controversy isn't just about politics. It's about something much bigger.
Well, there is a woman over the weekend who took it upon herself to research my family history in hopes of digging up some kind of a gotcha moment, a gotcha angle to validate illegal immigration and open borders. And what she found was really shocking, guys. She found that my family who came here in the 1800s from Norway and Germany, that they spoke Norwegian and German.
Okay.
And really what she did is prove that my family came here.
I've scheduled a spa. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ...
Social media exploded, and Carrie suddenly found herself in the eye of a storm. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch the fireworks unfold, and the internet was buzzing with opinions flying left and right. But here's the real kicker.
For them to go that deep in your background, you have gotten under their skin to a level I didn't think was possible. What is it about you that bothers them so much?
Well, it's not just me. It's anybody who advocates for merit-based immigration or has an issue with open borders. And again, just like you said...
You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
Trump's inauguration was a betrayal of her fans and values. But the story doesn't end there. Enter country music icon John Rich, who took to Twitter to defend Carrie. He called her a true artist who embodies grace and class in the face of hate. John, no stranger to sharing his political views, wasn't alone in his support. Fans from across the political spectrum came to Carrie's defense, emphasizing that even if they didn't agree with her decision, they respected her right to make it. One fan tweeted, "I don't agree with her politics, but I respect her decision to sing at the inauguration. Music should unite, not divide." This sentiment echoed a larger conversation about the role of art and artists in navigating complex societal divides. And this is where things start to get even deeper. This controversy isn't just about Carrie Underwood performing at a political event. It's a snapshot of something much bigger, the growing divide in our society. Politics has increasingly become a barrier to human connection, and this situation raises some important questions. Can we separate an artist's personal beliefs from their work? At what point does criticism of an artist cross the line into bullying or character assassination? Then there's a growing group of people stuck in the middle. Those who are simply tired of all the outrage. They're calling for a shift, urging everyone to step back and stop turning every debate into a battleground. As one tweet summed it up perfectly, "At the end of the day, it's just music. Why do we keep turning everything into a war zone?" So, how we as a society navigate differing beliefs and opinions, especially when played out in the public eye. Let's rewind for a moment. Carrie Underwood, known as the country music sweetheart, has always steered clear of political debates, keeping her personal views private. So when she announced she'd be performing at Trump's inauguration, the news shocked many. Her reasoning? She claimed it was about promoting love and unity. What began as a simple announcement about Carrie Underwood performing at Donald Trump's inauguration quickly spiraled into a full-blown media frenzy. Fierce debates erupted, impassioned opinions were shared, and some seriously heated exchanges followed.
They don't seem to understand that we, on the right,
Millions of viewers tuned in to watch the fireworks unfold, and the internet was buzzing with opinions flying left and right. But here's the real kicker. Through it all, Carrie remained true to her graceful nature. Instead of firing back with a heated response or engaging in a public feud, she stayed silent, letting her actions speak louder than words. And ironically, her refusal to engage only added more fuel to the fire, keeping the controversy alive and the spotlight shining on her. Some praised Carrie Underwood for her poise under pressure, admiring her ability to rise above the chaos. However, others questioned whether her decision to perform at Trump
I think she went to Binghamton undergrad, and she went to Notre Dame Law School, which is a great law school. Her son right now is at Harvard. That son she wants us to think is sitting there oppressed, who she's got to fight on behalf of because America is so awful to him. They're educating him right now at Harvard University. And Jason, would you take a look at this? Because I'm going to guess, I haven't been to your house down in Tennessee, but I'm going to guess it doesn't look like this. This is Sunny Hostin's home in this shitty country that she can't stand, that doesn't treat Black people like Sunny well. She let People magazine feature her home. Look at this dump. This country sucks. She went to Notre Dame Law School. She makes millions on The View. Her son's at Harvard. I'm sure her daughter's at private school on her way to some Ivy League. This is where Sunny lives. And F off, America. I can't stand how you've kept us all in chains. That's her messaging.
So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host Sunny Hostin has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got these women tell me why her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud. And I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance.
And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Trump's inauguration was a betrayal of her fans and values. But the story doesn't end there. Enter country music icon John Rich, who took to Twitter to defend Carrie. He called her a true artist who embodies grace and class in the face of hate. John, no stranger to sharing his political views, wasn't alone in his support. Fans from across the political spectrum came to Carrie's defense.
Okay. No one else had any thoughts?
So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
Emphasizing that even if they didn't agree with her decision, they respected her right to make it. One fan tweeted, "I don't agree with her politics, but I respect her decision to sing at the inauguration. Music should unite, not divide." This sentiment echoed a larger conversation about the role of art and artists in navigating complex societal divides. And this is where things start to get even deeper. This controversy isn't just about Carrie Underwood performing at a political event. It's a snapshot of something much bigger, the growing divide in our society. Politics has increasingly become a barrier to human connection, and this situation raises some important questions. Can we separate an artist's personal beliefs from their work? At what point does criticism of an artist cross the line into bullying or character assassination?
For her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys.
I think so, but then you pushed her and she said, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, I said to her, do you believe that women should make the same amount of money as men? Well, I guess I am a feminist.
Yeah, and she said, I guess I am a feminist. So I think people feel pretty strongly about it. I think art is art, and you know, you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have no.
Right, yeah. They're not asking any of us.